Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Long kick shout. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies. Mark goes to the movies.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Mark Goes to the Movies. I don't know why you would expect anybody else, but yeah. So this is 5 a.m. and it's raining, and we got off work early. It was a half a day because it was a little slow, and took care of some rearranging of the room, and just looking at some stats. For those of you who haven't seen the Instagram posts, putting commercials together, editing them together. That's one things I really enjoy is just, especially Halloween commercials, but just commercials from the '90s in general, and just like TV promos and movie trailers. So many great movie trailers. It's one of these things where I think you could have an amazing movie trailer and the movie just be fine, and like it kind of makes it a little better. Like I remember seeing the Godzilla trailer. The really shitty one from 1998, I think. That one with Matthew Broderick. Like that trailer's pretty great. The promos are great. Now they're kind of like just find it on the internet and find all the information you need. Whereas before the internet or like pre-internet where it wasn't so popular, where it was dial-up, you didn't have really all that great promo work. You had to rely on the TV trailers. I remember was it Greg's previews on Yahoo. I don't know. I'm showing my age with this one. He kind of like that was the web page. They had like all the movies that were like way out in the future that they're working on. Now they have so many different websites. People make a living off that. But no, I really enjoy the trailers. Really enjoy just TV in general. And as someone that didn't go to the movies a lot as a kid, uh, like movie trailers are like one of my favorite things. Watching movies on the TV network premieres. They don't do network premieres no more, and that's what's frustrating. Everything's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Peacock. Like just put it, make a big nice. I remember Thanksgiving was like big for big movies of the summer. They would come out in the summer previous year. They come to videotape by the beginning of the next year, and then by Thanksgiving that time they were on TV, and it was a big network premiere. And like I have a few of those recorded, and just cutting some trailers. And here's the thing, so you're just trying to go viral. You're trying to build a brand. It's no secret here. Will Mark Goes to the Movies ever sell out? Only to Amazon A list. Sorry, AMC A list. See, now they're not going to sell out to me. AMC A list. I'm willing to sell immediately. I've reached out to them constantly. I did a special. That's a surprisingly amount of people listen to the AMC A list special that I did, and I think I'm going to go more to that. I am watching movies. I don't want to do a podcast or maybe I haven't watched in a while. I think it's some of the early podcasts they were more scripted. Didn't like doing them. They were these are just like I'm freeballing it, dude. Like we're sitting there and literally this is the second time I've had to record it because apparently I don't like to recharge microphones, and my microphone died in the middle of the first time I tried to record this, and I didn't know this, so I was talking to the air for a little bit. But yeah, one of these Instagram posts 22,000 views. I'm up to 773 followers, which is great. I don't know how Instagram pays, but the end game is to eventually make some kind of money on this stuff, so I could reinvest it, or someone send me some free movies. There's a guy on Instagram I really like to follow. He's a really funny guy. I'm gonna blank on his name, and I don't want to look away from my microphone because this one might die too. But he's on Instagram. I'll I'll put his name out there, maybe on our podcast. But the dude is like so many great movies, and like I saw his Amazon wish list. I'm like, man, if I can get that, there's so many movies. Oh my god, I'd love to get that and cover it. Like the Abbott and Costello movies came to 4K. Like I would really like to do those. But it has $20 for 4 movies. That's $80 now, you know. So that's gonna wait. There's some things on my list that I just need to get, and if I had some extra money from AMC, would help out tremendously. But no, again, not paid for this yet. AMC, listen, what are you doing if you're not signing up for that? There are some good movies. You know, are you listening to AMC? I've got the special out. I've tagged you in some posts. I believe they've liked some of my stuff, but yeah. So trying to get AMC list to sponsor, and Instagram seems to be the easiest way. I don't know like how the algorithm works for some of this stuff, because like I'll edit some posts, some commercials. I'll get ready to throw them out there, and I'm like, you guys are gonna love this one. You're gonna love some Nickelodeon, some Goosebumps, you know. And nope, it doesn't do bad. It does like maybe a couple hundred, and that's not really exactly what you want. You know, you want the 22,000. Here's the thing though, the one that went viral for 22,000 went viral for one way, and I was looking at it. I'm like, it was at 12,000 when I left for work about 5 hours ago. So who knows how far it's gonna go? But I was like, God, during the week it was getting like 3 or 4,000, and I'm like, why is this? Why is this so much? Like I mean, it's a Nick or Treat promo. I'll let you find it. You can probably see what it is. And I was like, then I read the comments, and I was like, oh, that's why it's going viral. All right, well, not exactly what you want to go viral for, but I didn't shoot it. I didn't make it. It's Nickelodeon. So yeah, there's that. TikTok, God, that's a whole different animal. It's TikTok's global, so it'd be nice to get a lot of TikTok followers and get paid. The one program I do know how to get paid for is on Facebook. And that's because when the Facebook Reels first started up, I was in that program. I had one with Max, you know, my co-host, who's not here with me tonight, but he had a ton of videos. He got super popular, tremendous amount of followers. Haven't been able to replicate that yet. So if you're not following me on Facebook, if you're not following on Instagram, if you're not following on TikTok, you know, just give it a shot. You're gonna get lots of cool trailers at that, and I'll occasionally remind you that, hey, I have a podcast too. Also, merchandise. T Public. My co-supervisor bought a T-shirt off there. Apparently, I'm still on the apprentice thing, the apprentice category. So I can't. You can't look up Mark Goes to the movies and then like find my store. I have to send you the link, which is on Instagram, it's on Facebook, it's on everything, I think. And that's how you buy the shirts. But there's some good ones. Like I've been really doing and T Public is a great store to get merchandise from. They really print really well. So they have socks, they have hats, they have bags, they have pillowcases, they have shorts. I mean, so much as you could think of. I did think it was funny when I started looking at it. They're like, Teespring reached out to me and they're like, yeah, we can have more stuff too. Like, you could use our program as well. And so I don't know. We'll see. It is really cool having your logo out there and everything. Side note, I did also go through Timu. We'll see how this works out. But I have a Mark Goes to the Movie shower curtain and Mark Goes to the Movies temporary tattoos. So we'll we'll see how that turns out. It's coming from China, so we should get them. I guess I don't think there's no war with us in China, but yeah, we'll see how it looks. You know, and then what else I got going on? So we talked about the social media, t-shirts. Podcast is doing well. It spiked quite a bit the other day, and I was pretty happy with that. Like I'm trying to figure out the best way to put them out. I think maybe all at once really worked well. anytime anyone listens to the podcast, I'm incredibly grateful just because it's insane someone would listen to 20 minutes, and then I'm up to 24 podcasts now. So I think I don't know what the limit is, but I did come up with a guarantee plan, the future with Marcos movies. I'm going to record uh podcasts and then just release them long after I die. Someone's going to get blamed for my death. So hopefully it's like a sickness and I die and they're like, there's no possible way it could be murder. But if I mysteriously disappear or I'm mysteriously killed, I'm releasing podcasts, indicting somebody, and they're gonna get in trouble. So just throwing it out there. Maybe my buddy Goose, he might have to go on a run with his girlfriend T Bone. That's a different story. They they'd be a great. There's so many people I want on the podcast that I don't know how that would work or if it would work. I my friend Scott, well, he's gonna be a great podcast guest. We've seen so many just stupid movies, movies that are just hilarious. Street Trash is the one I want to cover with him, just because I found that movie like years ago. Now it feels like it's been a while, and I was like, I remember telling him, and like I showed him the scene where the hobo gets his dick ripped off, and they're playing keep away with it. Funniest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. I love that movie so much. The remake or the sequel, not so much. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Street Trash, and that's the one I want to do with him. Kaylee, my cousin, who I guess doesn't listen to the podcast for the friends and family special. I think maybe Scott was the only one that listened to it. The other guys I shouted out, nothing at all. I've not heard anything about it, or they're like, oh yeah, it's just another day, another podcast. I don't know. But yeah, nothing heard back from them. But with Kaylee, super busy parents. So I guess that makes sense. The she and we'll do one with my grandma with her because my grandma Billy deserves her own whole episode. She my favorite person in the world. I mean, probably wouldn't even like the movies if it wasn't for that woman. Who knows the kind of person I would be if I had a different grandma? Like, I guess I kind of took over the movie obsession from her, but man, I mean, she had 4,000 tapes. She would record her movies off TV, and like four movies a tape, 3 movies a tape. Times 4,000, you're at minimum 12,000 tapes, 12,000 movies. Sorry. So I get a lot of stuff from my mom. I'm a mixture of my mom, my grandma, and what I hear is my grandpa Marvin, because my mom used to talk about how my pranks were all like his. So I got a mixture of those 3 people. That's a pretty good mixture to get from with that personality. So really, really want to have a podcast with her. I did a podcast with my youngest daughter Peyton. I don't know if it's because it's on YouTube and those numbers don't do great, but I don't know. It was interesting interviewing her like a regular person and not your child. So that was interesting. I enjoyed it. It was like, oh, well, you kind of like different things. Like my mom never talked to me like a regular person until I was like way older. But like I was like into a lot of movies and stuff. Like I had a lot of good thoughts, and it was never like my mom never talked to me like an adult until I was like way old, like 25. Towards the end of her life. We'd go visit her on the weekends and we'd watch the news and watch cops and just yeah to get I didn't have cable during the summertime, so that's where I would go and watch cable is at my mom's house. And my stepdad would go drink and go to the Legion and just be an absolute piece of shit. Left his wife there on Friday nights, so I'd go visit my mom on Fridays and really miss those times. So maybe my mom gets an episode too. you know uh That's definitely an option. They yeah, there's of course quite a bit. This one's gonna go on a little rambling episode almost seems like. They so originally when I did before my battery died, which is still holding up pretty well, thank God. They were doing talking about Joe Bob Briggs. Joe Bob, he they thought he was gonna retire. They don't know exactly what it is. They just stay tuned. This was the series finale of his show on Shutter, The Last Drive-In. I want to say, dude, just as like probably instrumental in just the movies I like. You know, my grandma was showing me a lot of movies too, but they were like, you know, she had the option. But like when I was on my own, Monster Vision was like the thing you watch. You don't miss that. Monster Vision and Up All Night. I go with Gilbert Godfrey. I think he's my favorite Up All Night host. But it was all pretty great. But Joe Bob Briggs and Monster Vision, you know, he show you. I remember Return of the Living Dead seeing that on that. The night the no sorry the Friday the 13th movies, the marathons they did. I remember seeing that on the weekend, and like that was a big thing for me because that was the first time my grandma didn't have all the Friday the 13th. She had, I want to say she had part uh 4, 5, and she had the good ones actually. But like it was, I didn't see a lot of the ones there. Obviously, they were before my time. And yeah, I saw him on the Joe Bob Briggs Friday the 13th special, and he's done such a great job on Shutter. You know, they gave him a show 8 years ago. Still doing do 4 specials, so that's pretty awesome. And one special is my birthday weekend, so pretty excited about that. And just man, he was like one of the nicest people I think I've ever met. We did the Days of the Dead conventions, super affordable too. Like that's the other nice thing. You know, some of these celebrities they want to charge so much, and it's like you kind of gotta pick and choose. But I want to say Joe Bob was like $10, $15. It was nothing. It was super super easy to get. You know, it was super nice. He was like, I've met so many celebrities now. I was kind of numb to like that, like the just meeting them and just like, oh yeah, that's like when Alice Cooper. We get to hang out with Alice Cooper for when he's doing his photos and stuff, and you get to talk about your shoes and the Bears with Alice Cooper. I mean, everywhere else is just little people, you know. But Joe Bob was one person I was kind of like dumbfounded about, and Darcy, who's done. I mean, thank God for her, right? Like she's done such a good job managing the all the work she does for him. I know they do that Patreon and they do up the May DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff for the old Monster Vision stuff. She's been amazing. So thankful for her and Fried Rags with the cool shirts. I mean, everyone's accepted Joe Bob as like the father of like cable horror movies. And whatever happens next, I'm excited. I'm glad he's not just completely done. Even though he is getting up there in age, he's so much fun to watch. And he deserves everything he gets coming to him. Like I think everyone showed a lot of support for him because they thought it was going to be the end. But they say 4 specials, and it's not over yet. So hopefully, I mean, hopefully he keeps going till he's in his 80s. You know, or 7, 8 years. It'd be pretty great. You know, we went so long. Well, they took him off Monster Vision. I remember they put Penn and Teller, I think, was the ones that replaced them, and then it was nobody, and then it just wasn't like any horror movies. It was Godzilla movies, which are cool if that's what you like. But no, I like the old, shitty movies. Like, that's what I want to watch, you know. And yeah, that's what gave him to you is Joe Bob. He told you all about him. You never know whether he didn't like the movie or not. Some movies he was very honest. He didn't like him at all. Uh, some movies he's like, yeah, it's a good movie, but it's a piece of shit. But it's a good piece of shit you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna enjoy watching it. You know, some movies are. I don't like when movies try so hard to be bad, and then they're like, "Oh, we meant for this to be bad." No, you did not. Like, just make a good movie. Make the best movie you can. Someone's gonna like it. Someone's gonna like any movie you watch. There's a movie right now. Someone's asked me to. review it. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but or it's not really on my radar right now. There's so much stuff I want to do beforehand. So much stuff I got to do that I'm not sure I'm gonna get to it. But he asked me to review it, and just to reach a bigger audience, might give it a shot. Probably will give it a shot. Once I mean, there are some movies I want to do, but I gotta watch them first, and just sitting myself down, watching the movie, and then going about my business to make the podcast. The next one, I know next week we will have Undertone, is the one I want to see. Put my tickets out there. I bought, again, AMC A-List, if you're listening. I tagged you in this picture. But Undertone's going to be the next movie I watch. That will be Friday the 13th. I also have tickets for Project Hail Mary. That is March 19th. That's on that Thursday. Works out great because I'll see Project Hail Mary at 2 p.m. And then I'll have like maybe a 30-minute wait. Maybe not even a 30-minute wait. And then I'll see Ready or Not 2 at 5 p.m. And then I'll go to work so I don't have to miss any time. So excited about that. That's the future. That's my lineup anyways. And then try to watch some movies this weekend. I got all day today. And yeah, we'll see what I get into this weekend. God, it's just so hard. I mean, I'm enjoying the my new TV shows, to be honest. I have a Tales from the Crypt episode I want to do. I wrote it, haven't really done it yet because that's a huge subject as well. Goosebumps is another one. Maybe kid horror stuff, where I kind of combine Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps. Do that in one show. That could be a good option. But yeah, busy weekend. Stuff's coming. I don't know about the release schedule. I don't know how much, but if I could do 3 or 4 episodes a weekend, I'd be pretty happy. The numbers were pretty good last weekend, so I was pretty surprised actually by those good numbers. I want to say I had 40, 50 listens last weekend, which is insane that anyone would listen to me for we're looking at 20 minutes, and they do it, 4 or 5 times over a weekend. That's anytime someone gives me their time of day, I'm so thankful. The friends and family episode, like I said, I don't like. Hopefully, those guys listen to it because I wanted to show my appreciation to everyone. I think that's helped me on this way and gave me encouragement. And Scott was the only one, so at least they don't. Maybe they mentioned it. I don't know, but it is really late. It's getting to be that time. Looks like there'll be some nice weather too. That might hold me back a little bit. But we're gonna watch the movies this weekend, and I'm gonna tell you about them because this is what I do. This is Mark Goes to the Movies.